Okay, so by 1992, you're about 23 years old. You're working as a typist clerk.
Yes, after I got out, I said I got to change. You know, I got to do something. Man, I got to do something positive, man. It's like I got to get away from all the negative environment and stuff like that. So I eventually worked for the county of Los Angeles. And then by me being in Ventura, educating, getting my schooling and stuff like that, they say on the application you can put, have you ever been, I think, convicted of a felony? And I could put no. You know, but I was confined, so I wasn't convicted. So I did that for L.A., you know, County of Los Angeles, DPSS. I was a great typist clerk. Was doing good for about 6 months. About to get a raise and my 6 months evaluation, and they found out that I was locked up, so they fired me.
Huh?
And they fired me, and I was like, oh my God. So then that's when I went to Transamerica. So I went to Transamerica then, but I ended up fighting that situation because they was wrong. It was wrongful termination. So I ended up beating the case, but see, I was already working for Transamerica, so I never went back.
Okay, and you had a coworker there who was having a birthday party for his kid.
Yes, at Transamerica, girl named Gretchen. She it's funny because the girls at my church was doing like the fun clown things. They was like, and people, you know, when I used to sell drugs, they used to always say I act crazy, funny, and you know, it was silly, you know, I guess a little comedian, whatever, but you know, and then these girls at my church was doing like this fun clown stuff, like, you know, and they showed me, and they say, Tommy, you need probably be a good clown. And I say, what do y'all do? And they show me what they do. They come and grab the attention. They blow the horns, honk, blow the horns and stuff like that, and try to grab their attention. And so you want to make an interest, Tommy, you know, like that. So when I was checking that out and studying them on that part, the girl Gretchen at my job, she was like, when she found out, she was like, Tommy, be the clown. Do my party. And then I said, you want me to do your party? And so I asked the girls, how much y'all charge? You know, how did that work? And they told me like, yeah, about $60. And I said, okay, Gretchen, I'll do your party. I'm gonna charge you $60 and let's go. And I'll do. And so boom, I was excited. You know, the girls, they painted my face. They dressed me and they showed me what to do. And I called Gretchen. I said, I'm on my way to your party. And you know, me, you know, back in the days when I was in the drug game, I always had nice cars with loud music. So, you know, I used to bump the sounds. And so I said, I'm gonna make my entrance by pulling up, bumping music, jumping out and just breaking it down, dancing. And so I called Gretchen to do a party, and she was like, Tommy, I don't got no money. I'm like, what you mean, Gretchen?
It was $60.
It's $60, you know, already. You know, I guess, and I'm like, okay, Gretchen, how much you got? She said, I got $20.
$20.
I said, okay, give me that $20 when we get to work on Monday. So I still came and did the party, and I stayed there for about 3 hours. And I flipped it out. I was really, you know, the kids, they paid attention, the adults, everybody was under my control, and I've never been the same since, you know.
Okay, and Tommy the Clown was birthed at that party.
That's it. I said I'm finna come up with Tommy the hip hop dancing clown, and I was born. Every day after work, I work for Transamerica from 7 to 3:45. I go to the restroom, I get dressed, and then I hit the streets. And that's when I go through all the neighborhoods with this green 5.0 Mustang, bumping sounds, driving down and just watching, seeing people. And whoever I roll up on, I hop out, break it down, dance, and pass out a car. And I did that for like a year straight. It was like a high to me. I said, man, I'm finna come up with Tommy the Hip Hop Dancing Clown. And that's when the movement started rolling.
That's wild, because it's not like you suddenly got a bunch of paid bookings right after that. You're literally like like drive around parks and seeing like kids parties and then just like showing up and say, hey, I'll just perform for free for these kids?
That was it. It was absolutely driving wherever I saw a crowd of people.
Huh.
I'm pulling up. People just thought I was crazy. They saw this green car coming by with this hair and this dude bobbing and weaving. You know, I'm all by myself. I'm excited. It's like my natural high. It's like, you know, it was like I did it every day. I didn't miss a day. Every day from 7 to 3:45 working, and I'm out of here. I'm hitting the streets until it get dark, you know, and I did that for a whole year straight. And that's passing out cards, and that's when I start getting bookings and stuff like that. The girl that was at my church, she said her dad was in the King Parade. I didn't know nothing about no King Parade. Now, they said, Tommy, you should, and I did the King Parade. I left work, and I said, okay, you drive and just bump, and I'm gonna be behind there. I'm gonna be breaking it down and just acting crazy, you know. So she drove, and we towed the parade up by myself. I used to wear like big shoes. That's the plastic shoes that I used to run and slide and just break it down. And the crowd used to go wild, crazy. So the energy that they giving me, I'm feeding off of it. And so everything is exciting and crazy. So,
well, we also grew up in an era where clowns were kind of scary, right? You had It, right? Which there's a new series now, right? But that's been going on, I think, since the 80s. You got people like John Wayne Gacy, who would dress up like a clown and end up killing people and raping them and so forth. So it's like clowns, I feel like, have had sort of a bad rap in modern society. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I have experienced kids being scared because parents allow them to watch the movies, the It's, like you say. And so now, you know, me, I wanted to create this colorful enjoyment. This has been my logo. This has been my look. And I wanted to be like, I like how Michael Jackson captivate the audience and was really just entertaining. I said, I want to be like almost like the Michael Jackson of clowns. Like I pull up and roll down the window and kids, you know, and people just screaming. And it was just crazy because it was something new. And then you do have the ones that could be afraid because they have watched the TV shows. I have never really got into the TV shows of It and all these different clowns because when I came out, I'm a hip hop clown. I'm a dancing clown. I'm not them dorky, boring, scary clowns that whatever they do. I took hip hop, I flipped the script. I took music and made it something visual where you can see. You see this dude just entertaining, dropping it down, and breaking it down, and it makes people want to do it. It made dance because hip hop and music been out there, but to see this clown get it in, it's like, man, what's happening? You know?
Yeah, because you started incorporating hip hop and dance as opposed to like, let's say, a Homie the Clown, know, on Living Color. That was once again sort of just like making fun of the genre in a way. But you started creating your own dances, which you started calling clowning. So what exactly is clowning?
Clowning is just freestyle. It's where you feel the music and let yourself go. By me being the very first hip-hop dancing clown that goes around town, breaking it down to the sounds, I created a avenue. I created a outlet. I created an atmosphere where it's fun, it's joy, it's dancing, it's colorful, it's exciting, it's free, it's freestyle. And so I was just literally dancing to music. And the kids teach me. Like I had a kid teach me how to butterfly. It's like clown, do you know how to butterfly? And I was like, what's that? And he showed me. He's like, it's like that. And I said, and I took it. And I said, man. So now I'm flipping off cars because I was acrobatic. I'm flipping off, breaking it down to the butterfly. I'm doing creative things to, unique moves to what, what's just what exists. Clown's been here. Yeah. I took the uniqueness of watching these girls do fun clown, and I brought it and I made it cool.
I mean, have there been famous clowns in the black community, though? It seems like most clowns were white clowns. Am I right?
Yes. I mean, I never
Or
really...
Are you the first one?
First.
Like famous black clown.
I want to say I'm the very first one. I I don't know. Like, I never I never studied clowns. You know, you see, like you say, the different, white clowns. I never really.
I mean, you can't really see what exactly they look like because of the makeup, but underneath the makeup, but I feel like that, kind of pushes the personality though.
It does.
Right? Because you couldn't be, like an old white dude doing hip hop.
Absolutely.
Dances. That just doesn't make any sense, right?
These girls one time called like, man, you a tight black clown. And I was like, because I used to paint all my neck and everything. I wouldn't let you see how I look. And I'm like, I'm not black. I'm white. And she was like, are you serious? I said, no, I'm just playing, so, it was like, because you didn't know. You really couldn't tell how I look. I painted back. I didn't want you to know. I just want you to know I'd exist as a clown. So, but when, as time go on, find out I was this black hip hop dancing clown, Tommy the Clown, and creator of, clowning and crumping, and the intensity. So it's like, man, I am the first black. I'll have to do research to see, like, was it other black clowns, but they ain't no one did it like I do. They ain't did it like this. They was in the circus. They was, whatever clowns, like you in the scary movies. You got homie don't play that, but he was, that's one of the Wayans brothers, whatever. I took this thing and.
Well, I actually looked it up while you were talking. There's a guy named Chocolat.
Chocolat?
Rafael Padilla, an Afro-Cuban who rose to fame in Paris around the turn of the 20th century.
Wow.
He was a lead clown who partnered with the sophisticated white clown George Foutit. Yeah. So there you have it. There's also Bernice Collins, the first African-American woman to graduate from the Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Clown College.
Oh, wow. That's what's up.
Yeah.